and today I'm going to be working on my Japanese maple. This is a mother-daughter planting. I got it last summer, haven't done any work to it yet, just been letting it grow, trying to keep it healthy. And today I'm going to do my first styling. So last year when I got this tree, it grew alright, but towards the end of this growing season, kind of started struggling a little bit, and I noticed these little white insects all over the trunk and on the leaves. So I sprayed it with soapy water and let it sit and scrub them off. And I haven't noticed any since, so I'm hoping that next year it grows a lot better. I call this planting a mother-daughter planting because you have this taller, thicker tree to the left here and a smaller tree to the right. So this one obviously being the mother and this one being the daughter. I typically don't like twin trunk style plantings, but this one called to me, so I purchased it and I'm excited to see what it turns into in the future. So to get started with this planting, I'll just be working my way up the trunk on the mother tree here and just be going through each branch individually. So this first branch right here, looks like the tip of it died off, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the dead part of this branch. Now typically I don't like branches that grow from the inside of a curve right here, but this branch might grow out and cause some good balance to the tree, so I'll leave it for now. Moving on up the trunk line, in this section I have 1, 2, 3, 4 branches growing from the same spot. If I don't do anything about that, it'll start to swell in this area and cause inverse taper. I'm not a huge fan of this branch growing inwards towards the other tree. I don't think I'll get rid of it entirely, but I do think I'll shorten it down to one of these 2 branches. Just doing a rough pruning for now. Now that I think about it, I think I am going to get rid of this lower branch. And this branch right here, this little one's not serving much of a purpose, so I'll go ahead and remove that. And this branch here, I'll go ahead and remove that. So right here there's a bud on top, a bud below, and then I have this branch and this branch. I think I'm going to keep all of them for now, but I will go ahead and shorten them. So moving on up the trunk line once again, I have several branches coming from one area. I'm not sure if the branches on the left side are alive or not. So I'll just leave those for now. And if I want to get rid of them, I can prune them away in the spring. So I'll just shorten this branch. Try keeping everything compact, encourage taper and movement. I also have a branch coming out the back that could be nice in the future. But for this planting, I'm trying to get more growth out the left side. It seems like this planting's really heavy on the right side. I think I am going to go ahead and remove this branch because I know I won't want it. So moving on up, I have a little branch right here. I'll get rid of that. I feel like this tree needs more back branching, so it would be nice to keep some of these back branches. I believe this has died off, so I'll prune that away. This part is dead. I'll prune this off. So for this branch right here, I think I'm going to remove it just so you can see the trunk line a little better. And I'd rather develop this branch that's growing out the back. So moving on up, once again I have 1, 2, 3 branches going from the same spot. I'll go ahead and remove the one growing straight forward. And these 2 branches are kind of looking like bar branches, so I'd rather keep the one growing out the right side. So I'll go ahead and get rid of this branch. And these Japanese maples they back bud really easily, so I'm sure it'll be easy to grow branches in the spots I want in the future. But for now, I'm just trying to get a baseline, just a simple styling. So moving on up, I have a lot of buds in this area, and then this branch, which is a little too long for the apex of the tree. So I'll go ahead and looks like I have some buds down here, another set up here, so I'll prune back to those. And then I'll just take the tip off this one. Now up here in my apex, I do like this part of the apex that comes back forward because the tree is kind of leaning away, and then this part comes forward a little bit, which I like. And this part right here seems a little thick for the apex, so I could shorten it down to this and have this more of a back branch. But it is kind of growing just straight vertical. So maybe I'll remove this one and then just shorten this back one to take some vigor out of it. I have a nice outward facing bud right there, so I'll prune it back to that. And then it looks like the tip of this might have died off. Maybe not. But I will go ahead and reduce the height of that. So yeah. I think that pretty much has the mother tree pruned up, so I'm going to start working on the daughter. So this daughter tree, I definitely want it to stay smaller than the mother tree, so I'm definitely going to have to take some vigor out of it. And I definitely want it to be shorter than this tree. So working on up the trunk line, my first two branches are these right here. They're kind of opposite each other. I'm not a big fan of this tree growing towards this tree. I feel like if I remove this branch, it'll cause some good negative space in the composition. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that branch. And then for this branch, I definitely want to try to redirect it over here. If not, I have a bud right next to it that might eventually grow in a better direction. But for now, I'm just going to prune this one shorter and hopefully get some branching outwards. Now I'm trying to think how tall I want this tree to be compared to the mother, and I'm thinking maybe 2/3 the height, so somewhere right around here. And I think it would be nice if the tree kind of started leaning towards its mother a little bit. I don't want it to keep continually growing away. So this could potentially be a good leader for the tree. Or even maybe back to here could be a good leader. I think I'll start with just taking this off right here. And then in the future, if I want to take it down further, I can. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I just took some time to sit back and study the tree. And this tree is definitely a hard tree to prune. A lot of decisions to be made. Trying to figure out what I want the final composition to look like. So I guess I'll just take it one branch at a time. So I already pruned this one, moving on up to this one. I do have two branches rather close to each other. This one's pretty vertical, and this one's growing in a nice outward radial direction, so I think I'll choose this lower one, and I'll prune this one away. Moving on up the trunk line, I have two branches opposite of each other, and these two are kind of bar branches, so I'm leaning towards choosing this branch, and I think I will. I'll go ahead and remove this one. And now moving on to this branch. It's definitely getting pretty thick and pretty long and pretty straight. So I'm going to want to prune it down shorter to get some taper and movement to the branch. And it looks like I have buds here, here, and here. So I'll take it down to here, leaving these two sets of buds. Now this branch does cover up the trunk line a little bit, but it is higher up on the trunk, and sometimes it's nice to have some branching coming forward. It gives the tree a more natural look. So I'll leave that one alone for now. Now moving on up to this one. This one's starting to get a little long. Not much taper to it. Looks like I have buds here at the very base and then more up here. So I'll prune it back to those, leaving those 2 sets of buds. And up here at the apex, I have a lot going on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 branches coming from one spot. You can kind of tell that it's starting to swell and cause inverse tapering. So I'm going to have to definitely narrow that down. This branch right here might be a little too thick for the apex, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this branch. And then this branch is growing in this direction, kind of the same direction as this branch, so I think I'm going to go ahead and prune this one off. This branch is growing straight towards the viewer, so I'll go ahead and remove that. This branch will probably eventually be my new leader. And I already have a branch off to the left, so I think I'll remove this one as well. So once all these larger cuts heal over, I'll be able to clean them up a little bit, make them look better. Took a lot off the tree. Wasn't really expecting to do that much cutting. But I think the tree will definitely improve in the springtime once it grows and starts filling in. So that'll be it with the pruning of my mother-daughter Japanese maple. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned in the spring for when it starts growing again.